After welcoming Kevin into the Myriads, Stewart had 3 beautiful women brought into the room and then he left. Kevin had a feeling they weren't there of their own free will. And anyway, he was married to Lily, so he told the women they should get out before anyone came back. The leader of the group walked up to Kevin and said, "You're not like the others. Please tell me your name. In the future, the Sideros Alliance will find a way to repay you for this." "You're from the Sideros Alliance?" Kevin's eyes betrayed his surprise when he heard her say that. "Yes, we are," the woman replied as she nodded her head. "My name isn't important, but you should leave quickly," Kevin smiled. Then he shook his head as he walked out of the room. Things were getting weird. First, Kevin had saved Marshall's men from the effects of an herbal ingredient, and now he had freed members of the Sidero Alliance. It must have been fate. After leaving the bar, Kevin called for a ride to the Whistler Hotel. "I hope Mitchell Cook isn't at the hotel today, or this is going to cost me." When he got to the Whistler, Kevin saw someone familiar outside the building. It was Dalton Steele's wife, Miranda, being chased down the street by more than a dozen people. "So, you're trying to run away?" a man said as he suddenly pounced on Miranda and pushed her to the ground. "She sure is hard to catch," another man shouted as he took out a rope to tie her up. "Stop it!" Kevin yelled as he rushed toward her. Without thinking, he shoved the man aside. "Kevin!" Miranda asked in surprise. She was relieved to see him, but still called out, "Go and find Dalton!" Miranda knew that Kevin was good at fighting, but he was seriously outnumbered, and the guys who were chasing her were no slouches. Their boss was Dominic Archer. However, Kevin didn't pay any attention to Miranda's request. He kicked one of the other attackers with all his strength and then pulled her up off the ground, standing in front of her to protect her. "If you know what's good for you, you'll get out of here right now. If you don't, I promise it'll be painful," their leader roared. "I'll tell you what. I'll give you just 1 minute to get out of here." "Have it your way. Brothers, get him," the man yelled as he lunged at Kevin. The other men also reacted fast. They pulled knives out of their belts and quickly ran at Kevin. "Kevin, you have to get out of here now. There are too many of them. If I let these guys get you, how can I ever face Dalton again?" Kevin answered as he stood his ground. He knew how dangerous these people were. If they took Miranda, there's no telling what they would do to her. Kevin had no choice. "Just stay behind me," he said to Miranda as he threw a backhand at the man closest to him. Then he stepped back so that he could keep protecting her. The man yelled as he got up from the ground holding his head. Then he said to the others, "Hit him again!" Kevin saw that they had nowhere to run. It looked helpless, but somehow he felt a surge of energy flowing through him, and it wasn't adrenaline. Kevin was stronger than any of these guys, but there were way too many of them coming from every direction. One of them got past Kevin and swung a billy club at Miranda's head. "Watch it!" Kevin shouted as he threw one of the attackers aside and blocked the strike. "Kill him!" the group's leader shouted as he rose from the ground and slashed at Kevin's back with his knife. His clothes instantly turned red from all the blood. By now, they were all surrounding Kevin, armed with crowbars and knives. Kevin was in intense pain from the cut, but he still didn't stop protecting Miranda. "Damn it," the leader growled as he spat at Kevin. "Finish them off." "Kevin, don't worry about me. Save yourself," Miranda said tearfully. Ever since Dalton and Kevin became brothers, Miranda hadn't thought that much of Kevin. Even though he had helped her, it seemed that a lot of times it was just dumb luck. But seeing Kevin risking his life to save her deeply moved Miranda. She wished she could tell her husband that he'd chosen his friend wisely. A few of Stewart's men had gone outside to see if Kevin had arrived yet, and they saw the fight. One of them yelled, "What the hell's going on? They're attacking our enforcer." One of them shouted into the hotel, "Brothers, come out quickly. Our enforcer's in a fight outside." In seconds, dozens of members of the Myriads rushed out of the hotel and surrounded Dominic Archer's group with murder in their eyes. "Who the hell are you?" the leading man asked in a panic. "Your worst nightmare," one of the Myriads said as he grabbed him by the throat and threw him to the ground. As more and more of them rushed out of the hotel to help Kevin, Dominic's men had no choice but to surrender. When he saw Kevin covered in blood, Stewart shouted, "Toss them into the Chicago River!" Then he picked up Kevin, who was barely conscious, and asked him, "Are you all right, brother?" "Kevin, can you hear me? Please hang on." Miranda sobbed as she put her hand on Kevin's blood-stained cheek. This whole mess had been caused by a turf war between Dominic Archer and Dalton Steele. A couple of weeks ago, Dalton opened a new bar on the north side of the city. It was wildly popular and started to affect Dominic's businesses. So Dominic sent some of his men to vandalize Dalton's bar, but it didn't work. Dalton and his men ended up beating them up, sending some of them to the hospital. Dominic took this personally and asked Dalton to meet him to discuss the issue. But when he demanded half of the bar's profits, the meeting went sideways. So Dominic decided to get even by going after Miranda. "I'll be fine, but you should get out of here and go find Dalton, and don't go out alone from now on." Kevin didn't know why Dominic had tried to take Miranda, but he figured it would be safer for her to stay near her husband. "What will you do if I leave?" Seeing how much Kevin had risked for her, she was deeply indebted to him. "You don't have to worry about me," Kevin said as he struggled to point to the people around him. "These guys will take care of me." Miranda had a lot of common sense. She knew they had to act quickly, so she patted Kevin on the shoulder and left to find Dalton. "Hang on, Kevin. We'll get you to the hospital," Stewart reassured him as he ordered his aides to get a car and rush him to the nearest emergency room. The hospital staff couldn't believe how many people came in to drop Kevin off. As soon as they were sure that he would get good treatment, most of Stewart's group left. "Kevin, you hang in there. I've got something to take care of, so I gotta get going." Then he hesitated for a moment before continuing. "I have to leave town tomorrow. You'll be leading the development of the Chicago branch while I'm gone. You're on your way up." "I understand, Brett, but it looks like I won't be able to see you off tomorrow." Then Stewart stood up and turned to the aides who were in the room. There must have been 6 of them. He said seriously, "It's up to you to protect our enforcer. I'm counting on you." "Yes, sir." "Rest up, my friend." Kevin looked at the men who were standing guard over him. "What are your names?" Kevin asked the 2 who were standing by the window. "I'm Spencer, but you can call me Spence," the first one answered. "And I'm Derek. From now on, the 2 of you will be my deputies in the Chicago branch. When I'm not around, you'll be in charge." "Thank you. We won't let you down." "We're just getting things off the ground, and I'll be here for a while, so I'm counting on you to take care of things." The 2 of them understood what he was asking and got very excited. "Anything you say, sir," Derek promised. "Go ahead. There's lots to do, and take the other guys with you," Kevin said as he gestured for them to leave the room. Once he was alone, Kevin called Miss Wilson and asked her to come to the hospital if she had the time. "It looks like things are going to get pretty hairy in Chicago," Kevin thought to himself. "I have to make sure everything's in place so that the company can survive." A while later, Miss Wilson quickly walked into the room and saw all the bandages on Kevin's body. Her eyes grew wide as she asked him, "Sir, what happened?" "I'll be fine. Just tell me what you found out." He didn't want her or anyone else to know that he was involved with the Myriads now. "There's clear evidence that Victoria and Jason Jones conspired to steal Lily's shares and have her banished from the family. In order to pay her bills, she got a job as a broadcaster with our company." "Is the import-export company also in the hands of the Jones family?" Kevin asked as he remembered what Tyler had told him. "Yes, sir, they took that too. But Mr. Dawn personally took over the company and ran it into the ground, causing the Jones family to lose close to $400 million. Miss Wilson replied with a faint smile. Even though she didn't know what the relationship was between Kevin and Lily, as an outside observer, she felt that the Jones family had gone too far this time. "Please log in and arrange to have $100,000 transferred each day to Lily's payroll account. Make sure it's from my personal account, not the company's." He still wanted to make sure that Lily was taken care of, even though they were separated right now. "One more thing. Did you ever find out why those advertising companies pulled their contracts?" "Sorry, sir, we still haven't made any progress on that. By the way, are my parents doing any better?" Alan and Susan should have been discharged from the hospital by now. He didn't want them to go back to their home in the country because he was too worried about what the Williams family might try to do to them. After I heard from Dr. Willow, I bought an apartment in the Salix Leaf Complex, in your name, of course, Miss Wilson recounted to Kevin. Kevin nodded his head to show that he approved. Thanks. I'll be asking you for your help with some company matters. And if you need a decision on anything, please give me a call anytime. You can rest assured that I'll take care of the company's affairs while you recover. If there's nothing else, I'll head back to the office, Miss Wilson replied as she walked to the door. While he was lying in the hospital bed, Kevin started to think about how he could make some money from selling New Age herbal medicine, especially after seeing that bidding frenzy at the auction. His phone vibrated, snapping him out of his daydream. He looked at the caller ID and answered, Hi, Marshall. It's been a while. What have you been up to lately? Sorry, Kevin. I've been getting a surprise ready for you. What surprise? I saw how well you could refine herbal medication, so I got some of my men together to find you tons of herbs and stuff. I'm wondering where you want me to send them. What kind of herbs? Not just herbs, but flowers, spices, things from all over the world, Marshall said as he listed a lot of exotic ingredients. Great. Send them to my place in Corwin Tower and then have someone pick me up at Downtown General. Sure thing. I'll be right there, Marshall said as he hung up the phone. Kevin was so excited that he almost jumped out of bed. He remembered a recipe that could help him not only recover from his injuries but increase his power. And 2 crucial ingredients were in the list that Marshall had read off to him. That could get him in shape to compete with all the people who were trying to take over Chicago. I've never really felt that strength was so important, until now, Kevin thought to himself. And his books contained even more information and lost recipes that he hadn't even read yet. About half an hour later, Marshall stopped by to pick up Kevin from the hospital. When they stepped off the elevator into the penthouse, Kevin saw a dozen large black bags piled up in the living room. Even from 30 feet away, he could smell their medicinal fragrance. We got you only the best. Let's get everything moved in. He couldn't wait to get started.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.